Hey there, if you have ever been interested in the history of firearms, you have probably noticed that in Red Dead Online, many of the weapons are based on real historical models. These weapons don't just add atmosphere to the game, they let us dive into an era when each revolver and pistol had its own story. Firearms weren't just survival tools, they were essential to the lives of people living on the American frontier. Cowboys, sheriffs, and bandits used them to shape their destinies, and each one became a part of legend. Let's take a closer look at some of the weapons we see in the game, their real-world counterparts, and the fascinating stories behind their creation. Let's start with the Navy Revolver, which in the game is depicted as a powerful and accurate weapon. In reality, its counterpart, the Colt 1851 Navy Revolver, was introduced in 1850 and became a game changer in the world of firearms. Samuel Colt, the brilliant inventor behind the Colt 1851, understood that the world needed a reliable, compact, and precise firearm. This revolver, which used percussion caps and was popular among sailors, hunters, and soldiers, was praised for its accuracy and stopping power at medium range. Colt's innovation led to the mass production of over 250,000 of these revolvers during its production, and it continued to be used well in the American Civil War. The Colt 1851 Navy was one of the first to use a fully metallic cartridge, which revolutionized firearm technology at the time. Next up is the LeMat Revolver, a truly unique weapon in the game. The real-world counterpart, the LeMat Revolver was designed by Dr. John LeMat in 1856. Dr. LeMat, a physician by trade and not an arms designer, created a weapon that was both innovative and highly unusual. The LeMat featured two barrels, a regular revolver barrel for standard ammunition and smooth-bore shotgun barrel capable of firing buckshot. This two-in-one design made it an effective close-range weapon, ideal for combat situations where versatility was crucial. Despite its innovation, the LeMat was expensive and difficult to produce, so it didn't become a mass-market weapon. However, it gained fame during the American Civil War, particularly among Confederate soldiers as a backup firearm. It was a rare but powerful tool for those who could afford it. Now, let's look at the Cattleman Revolver, which is one of the most iconic and reliable firearms in the game. Its real-life counterpart, the Colt Single-Action Army, was introduced in 1873 and is widely considered one of the greatest revolvers ever made. Designed by Samuel Colt himself, the Single-Action Army was specifically created to serve both the United States military and civilian markets. It was easy to maintain, highly reliable and accurate, making it a perfect choice for both soldiers and cowboys. The Colt Single-Action Army became a symbol of the Wild West and was dubbed the Peacemaker for its role resolving conflicts during that era. Over half a million of these revolvers were produced over several decades, cementing its place in history. Moving on, the double-action revolver, which in the game offers quick and efficient shooting. In real life, its equivalent is the Colt New Army Navy Revolver, introduced in 1889. This revolver featured a double-action mechanism, allowing for quicker and more powerful shots compared to single-action models. This breakthrough design made it easier to fire multiple rounds in a short amount of time, making it highly effective for military and law enforcement personnel. The Colt New Army and Navy Revolver was adopted by the United States military and was used in the Spanish-American War, as well as in police forces across the country. Its double-action design represented a huge leap forward in firearm technology, and it played a significant role in both military and civilian life at the turn of the century. Next is the Schofield Revolver, which in the game is a reliable choice for close-range combat. In reality, this is a Smith & Wesson Schofield Model 3, developed in 1875. The Schofield Revolver was designed by Major George Schofield, a United States Army officer, to improve upon existing revolvers. What made the Schofield unique was its quick ejecting cylinder, which allowed soldiers to reload much faster than with previous models. This feature made the Schofield highly effective in the battle, and it became a popular choice for United States troops during the Indian Wars. It was also widely used by law enforcement, and its practicality in quick reloads made it a favorite among soldiers and sheriffs alike. Now, let's talk about the Volcanic Pistol, a rather unique weapon in the game. The real-life counterpart, the Volcanic Repeating Arms Pistol, was the first pistol to use metallic cartridges, a major advancement over earlier firearms that relied on paper cartridges. The Volcanic Pistol was produced in the early 1850s by the Volcanic Repeating Arms Company, founded by Horace Smith and Daniel Wesson, before they formed their more famous company. This innovation allowed for faster reloading and more reliable shots. However, the high cost of production and limited availability kept the Volcanic from becoming a widely used weapon. It is remembered as a significant step toward the development of repeating firearms, influencing later models like the Colt Peacemaker and Smith and Wesson revolvers. Next on the list is the semi-automatic pistol, which in the game boasts repeat fire capabilities. The real-world equivalent is the Boccia C93, the world's first production semi-automatic pistol developed in 1893. The Boccia C93 was groundbreaking for its use of a detachable magazine, which allowed it to fire multiple rounds without reloading. While its design was somewhat clunky and awkward, it laid the foundation for future semi-automatic pistols, such as the iconic Luger P08 and Mauser C96. Despite its initial awkwardness, the Boccia C93 helped pave the way for future advancements in pistol design. Finally, the Mauser pistol in the game represents the famous Mauser C96, also known as the broom handle. The pistol was first introduced in 1896 and became famous for its distinctive design and innovative features. The C96 was one of the first pistols to use detachable magazine that could hold up to 10 rounds, making it highly effective in combat. It was used during World War I and self-service in many other conflicts of the early 20th century. The Mauser C96 is one of the most iconic pistols of the early 20th century, and its design influenced many later models, including the famous M1911 pistol. Each of these weapons not only plays an important role in the historical context of Wild West, but continues to live on in games like Red Dead Online, where they represent a rich and complex legacy. These firearms were more than just tools of survival. They were symbols of an era defined by conflicts, innovation, and the pursuit of justice. The stories behind these weapons are as fascinating as the legends they have helped create.